First week of no work. My hair is really messy. It's really windy out today. So I went to the rheumatologist on Monday, and not really much happened there. She didn't really know what these bumps are that I'm getting. She said that she's never really seen that before in lupus, so she doesn't think it's a lupus rash. She asked if we had changed laundry soap lately, and I said no, but then when I was telling my husband about it later, Alex said that we had, which I totally forgot about. We used to use Gain, and we started using Tide, I guess, a couple months ago, or a few months ago, or whatever. But my mom said that when I lived with her, she used Tide sometimes as well, and I don't recall ever having this problem then. So I don't know if I've just developed this sensitivity to Tide, but we went out and bought Gain again, and we're going to see if that makes a difference. As for the diarrhea, it is one of the most common side effects of my Fortic and she said that she wants to, well, she sent me for more blood work because she wants to make sure that everything is still stable before she decides whether or not she wants to lower the dose of my Fortic to see if that maybe makes a difference. So that was that. And then I also mentioned the tingling and the whole, like, sometimes when I'm walking, feeling like I'm slipping on ice, like I'm going to fall if I don't stop. And she didn't really say too much to that. So, I don't know. She really didn't, she just kind of thought it was weird, but she didn't seem concerned, or she didn't really do anything about it. So yeah, I went for more blood work. Again, I had to get poked twice because they couldn't find the vein in my arm. See, like, I've known by now that they always have trouble finding my veins, but I know that they have more luck in my left arm than my right arm. So I just always give them my left arm to start off with. But this time, she's poking around, and nothing. And she takes it out, and she tried it in my hand and got it. But yeah, so I mean, because they always seem to have trouble, this is why I get so queasy and pass out. So from now on, I just always lay down for my blood tests. It may seem kind of silly, but I would rather not take the chance of me passing out and convulsing on the floor. So we'll, keep laying down. And Monday, I shipped out Emma. The buyer sent their last payment, so no Emma. Emma's gone. And speaking of which, I got express post, and they said it would arrive to her on Tuesday because there had been a delay. She had paid me the weekend before, but I wasn't aware of it because PayPal didn't tell me like they usually do. And I didn't know that the money was there. And so she was waiting all week for the doll, and it didn't come. So I felt bad. So shipping was cheaper than I had expected. So I went for the most expensive shipping, which was still cheaper than what she paid. So I'm going to have to reimburse her some as well. They said it would get there the next day, Tuesday. I got an email today, and she said she hasn't received it yet. Good old Canada Post. I just realized that I threw the receipt with the tracking number in the recycling. So I just spent the last 45 minutes with rubber gloves on, digging through our recycle bin outside to try and find it. And I finally found it. Thank God. We had only taken it out yesterday, so I thought it would be near the top, but somehow it got almost to the bottom. Go figure. So I got that taken care of. Tuesday, Alex and I went to see Jackass 3D for his birthday. It was really funny. So it was nice to get out and do that. And then we went out to dinner at the Imperial Buffet because my mom got Alex gift certificates for it, and I had a coupon for a buy one get one free meal. So essentially we got a free dinner, both of us, which is good considering we hardly have any money. Okay. So it was nice to be able to go out for very little cost, which is not often these days. Everything is really expensive. So we did that, and oh, I did go to the Halloween haunt on Saturday night with my friends, and I had a really good time. I had lots of fun. The only problem is that it was cold and it rained the whole time. And I thought my winter coat was waterproof, but apparently it's not. It soaked right through eventually. And so now I think my cold is getting worse again. So that's not good. But I did well. I did do well. I think all the excitement of it all, my fatigue really didn't kick in until the end of the night when we got in the car. Then I was like, okay, I'm going to fall asleep any second now. But there was just so much happening in the night. It kept me awake while we were there. So the fatigue was fine. And surprisingly, like, all the walking that we did, like, my joints were okay until the next day. Sunday was for joint pain. But it was a lot of fun, and it wasn't as scary as I thought it was going to be, although sometimes I screamed even when there was nothing. Just because some of them were pitch dark and you couldn't see in front of you. And I don't like not being able to see. Although, at the same time, I found those a little bit easier to go through. Because as long as I was holding onto my friend's shoulder in front of me and knew where I was going, I just had my hood on, which was covering my vision at the side. So I really couldn't see if there was a person popping out at me on either side unless I heard them go, "Wah!" So I just kind of like kept staring at the ground and like kind of closed my eyes a little bit. Plus my glasses were fogging up, so I really couldn't see anything anyway. So even though like I don't like being able to see in front of me, I kind of was able to get through it by really not being able to see anyway. Whereas like the first two we went in were 3D, and you had to hold up the glasses to your face because they were just falling off. It's hard to put 3D glasses over regular glasses, let me tell you. So I had to hold them up. And the first one was all clowns, and they were just scary looking clowns in like neon colors, and like just like every corner people were jumping out at you. And the good part was that they're not allowed to touch you. So I liked that because when I was 10 I went into Screamers at the exhibition and they were touching you. Like, they had people behind the walls grabbing your ankles as you went by, popping their heads out at you, grabbing your shoulders. And so that's what I had in mind when I was going to be going to this one. And I was really leery about it because I did not like freaky people in costumes that I don't know who's behind the mask touching me. Like, don't touch me. So they're not allowed to touch you. So that was good. So all it was basically was just people jumping out at you or following you. And, you know, like, basically, every time someone would jump out at me, I would scream 3 times in a row and then laugh. So, I'm sorry, Melissa. I was screaming in her ear because she was in front of me the whole time that we walked through haunted houses. And I was grabbing onto her shoulders really tight. And I screamed in her ear every time. And she bought a poncho for $6. $6 for a poncho. And I ripped it. I ripped it. I'm sorry. I was grabbing her shoulders, and sometimes our other friend Melanie, who was in front of her, was going kind of quickly, and I was trying to slow down. And so between Melanie pulling Melissa and Melissa pulling me forward and me trying not to let go of Melissa, and I was grabbing on tighter, I didn't realize that I was hiking up her poncho a little bit at a time, and it ended up ripping all the way down the front. Oops. Sorry. Didn't mean to. I didn't know I was doing it. But it was a lot of fun. I laughed a lot and I screamed a lot. But I laughed a lot. And laughing is good. But my voice has been quite bad since then and sore since then, probably from me screaming so much. And I would have to say the scariest part, the one part that I found the scariest was the one house called the Asylum. And there was like freaky looking, psychotic looking people hanging like in doorways, like swinging and doing weird, crazy things. That was a little scary. And then the last one that we went in was the Miner's Revenge. And it was like you're in a mine. And near the end, I saw the person in the costume way ahead, like before I was even beside her. I saw this lady. She was dressed in plaid. She had blood all over her face, that kind of stuff. And so she was on, I think it was a bridge. I can't really remember, but I saw her coming. So I was preparing myself, and I would do this a lot. I would see the people before we even got there, and I would prepare myself for them to jump out at me, because sometimes they did and sometimes they didn't. But because you never knew if they were or weren't, it didn't matter. They still scared me when they jumped out at me. But this lady, first she jumped out at me, I screamed, then she started following me, and I was trying to put my head down and not look at her and just keep walking, but she kept following me, and she was right here, like right beside my ear, and she was going, right in my ear, and it was freaking me out. I screamed and screamed and screamed. I was like, get me out of here, stop following me. I didn't like that. That was scary. And so she kept following me, and so then I thought, okay, she's getting a really good response out of me, which is why she's probably still following me. So I stopped. I thought, okay, I'm going to stop screaming. She's going to stop following me. She kept following me. She kept doing it. I was like, oh my God, please get me out of here. But regardless of the rain and being scared out of my wits at some parts, it was still a lot of fun. And I did a lot of laughing, which was really good. So that was that. Last night we went to dinner with Alex's dad and his sister for his dad's birthday and I guess Alex's birthday too. And so yeah, I didn't have time on Monday to go for a sinus x-ray because we had other stuff to do before Alex had to go to work for 2:30. So I went and had my sinus x-ray today, this afternoon. It's just a follow-up x-ray. My rheumatologist just wanted to make sure that whatever was detected in the last sinus x-ray, which was some kind of blockage, was gone. So yeah, so now I'm home. I finished rummaging through recycling, and now I have baked a cake, or I'm baking a cake. I've got the mixture there. And I've just been waiting to make sure that this is the right temperature because I've noticed since buying an oven thermometer that it's off a lot, and it's off again. I have to adjust it a bit. But yeah, this is going to be Alex's birthday cake. So yeah, that's that for now, I guess. Nothing much else to tell you guys. So I will let you know how it goes with me baking a cake. And I'm feeling a lot of sticky stuff on our kitchen floor. This floor just, to me, it doesn't seem to matter how much I clean it or wash it, it always seems dirty. And it annoys the crap out of me. Because I don't have the energy to keep cleaning it. But I vacuumed yesterday, and then I should have mopped after that. But I didn't, and so now I'm going to have to vacuum it again before I can mop it. Otherwise I'm going to get all kinds of hair and fluff and stuff. But I really got to try and get the sticky stuff off of here. It's really nasty. But I find sometimes that my Swiffer Wet Jet doesn't get the stickies off. Sometimes you got to use the scrub brush. And I can't really get down on my knees to do that. Yay, fun. Okay. Anyway, talk to you guys later. Bye.